The idea of bags came from twofold. I was going through a lot of grief, like I told you, and then I thought to myself, I've got to bag my emotions and just, so bag, wow. And then also my late wife had wanted to do bags before she passed.
She was classy.
Yes. 3 days before she passed, she launched her brand, RK, and she passed without doing it.
At what stage did you realize, oh my goodness, what I'm holding here, I can also cash on it and make some good profits?
I kept on praying and I said, if one person buys this bag, that will be all the validation I need. That is, after that, I'm not looking back. And my initial bag was 37,000 shillings. It wasn't cheap. 5 people bought. When I started Joke, I promise you, a very good friend of mine at the time said, bro, you're a great music producer. Why are you leaving music to go and do something you've never done? And he looked at me and said, no, you're going to fail. Just stick to the music. I am still in disbelief. It's so beautiful to see people believe in an African brand for once. For once. A revolution of people globally believing in African brands and saying, wait a minute, so what else is there apart from the bags?
So trust the process. One day your life is gonna change. Keep on believing. You will be better than before. So trust the process.
Guys, welcome to today's episode of Inspire Global. My name is Lynn Ngugi, and I know you can see I'm holding something here very beautiful, and right behind me we have this magnificent bag, and I promise you guys, this is not an ad. It's because our conversation today is based on you believing in your idea. I know a lot of us have very beautiful things going on, but we find ourselves giving up because you think you will never get here. And here is Joke. Beautiful bags by Tedd Josiah, who just started with an idea, but after so many years, his bags are now being dubbed the most luxury bags in Africa and soon to be the most expensive bags in Africa. It all starts with an idea, you believing in your idea, and then having people see you believing in your idea, then they believe in your idea. I hope you can be able to get inspired by his story, how he also overcame grief, and how he got to be where he is today. And of course, guys, I always say here in Inspire Global, our theme is no matter what your hustle is, please be proud of it. There is absolutely no shame in hard work. So we are about to get to listen to his story, but before that, so now I have to pay bills, the sponsors. I want to say thank you so much to our people at Kings Developers Limited and Maridadi Motors. Mi naona nikishika hii bag yangu niweke hapa, I enter into my dream car, kila kitu itakuwa sawa. Then I use my car, I go get my apartment with Kings Developers Limited, kila kitu pia itakuwa sawa. Na pia I go write my notes This I'm plugging in for you guys. Please purchase our notebooks so that we can be able to take notes. Naenda na my notebook ya LNN and I take down my notes. But above all, I hope you get inspired by today's episode. And remember, that idea that you have can soon be these beautiful bags that you can be able to see wapi, to see here. Sawa sawa, tuonane. Guys, wacha tuchukue notes. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's
Really
great.
nice to finally have this conversation with you.
Yeah, it's been how many years
Since
since you wanted to come?
Since I even slid in your DM,
Yeah.
it's been 6.
Don't tell people you stayed in my DM. Wow.
The interpretation is okay, it's theirs, but it's been 6 years.
No, but thank you very much. You have been a support from actually that first time when you noticed what I was doing.
Yeah.
And you said, really, congratulations, big up, keep going. You know, sometimes it takes those little nuggets of just support for you to try and build yourself up. So thank you very, very much for, that was very special to me.
I feel like for the first time,
Yeah.
I've met not only an artist that really gets me. There's a room I went back there and I felt like telling my team, please leave me here for 5 days. I want to feel, and you understood,
You're more than welcome.
you looked at me and you knew how
Yes,
that feeling
yes,
felt like.
yes.
But once again, thank you for accepting even to have this conversation. A lot to talk about,
Yes.
but maybe for someone who is just watching us for the first time, could you please introduce yourself and also what you do?
I thought I was going to do 1, 2. Hi, my name is Tedd Josiah. I'm a creative geek. When I say that, people think I'm joking, but literally, I am a creative geek. I work with all forms of media. People would have called me an artist broadly if we were in the 19th or 18th century, but in the 20th century, or are we in the 21st century?
Yes.
I love to create stuff, whether it's with clay, whether it's with a guitar, whether it's with a keyboard, whether it's with a camera, whether it's with leather, whatever. As long as you tell me it can't be done, I will figure out how it can be done. So for me, my 30 plus years of creativity have evolved from music to video to now pure leather bags and jackets and those kind of things. And the journey continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. And one of the questions that I like to wind up with, but allow me to start with, because we are looking at all these beautiful pieces right behind us. And I was thinking, even when I wanted to do an introduction for you, for me, what attracted me to you was holding on to something no matter how hard it can get. I'm looking at our channel. We are almost at 900K subscribers.
Wow.
But if you ask me, it's the thing I've held on to, even
Yes.
when no one understood
Yes.
what I was doing.
Yes.
And the question is, looking back, did you always think you could be here? Did you envision this for yourself? Did you know you were meant for greatness?
I knew I was meant for greatness because my grandmother always told me I was meant for greatness from the time I was a little boy. And I think I just held on to that meant for greatness thing. But in what facet, I don't know. Is this great? I don't think it's great. It's just, this is just me being me and daring to dream. It's funny that you say hold on to things. Yes, you must hold on to things, especially when you believe. I remember starting my journey as a music producer, and there were no music producers at the time. I said, I want to be a music producer, and everybody looked at me like, bro, whatever you're smoking, reduce it. When you have been called by the Creator to become a pioneer, you don't know where you're going. Did Moses know where he was going?
No.
A lot of people don't know where they're going, but they believe that there's a power inside them that is driving them to go somewhere. So whatever your vision is, whatever your purpose is, vision and purpose, it drives you, and it should always drive you regardless of whether people believe in you or not. Because a lot of times, a lot of people are not going to believe in you. Until somebody else from outside comes and says, oh no, she's doing an amazing piece of work, can't you see? And then your best friend, that's when they're going to start following you. You know, they've been with you since you were a kid, but they didn't believe in you. as at Joka Jok, I've seen that firsthand, where people don't believe in the dream and people don't believe in the vision until it starts to bear some fruit, and then they believe in you. When I started Joka Jok, I promise you, a very good friend of mine at the time said, bro, you're a great music producer. Why are you leaving music to go and do something you've never done? And you want to compete with all these big boys? You're going to fail. And I was asking him for investment in a leather company. And I knew that, in my heart, I knew that this was a surefire. I can't fail at this. And he looked at me and said, no, you're going to fail. Just stick to the music. 2 years down the line, he said, now I believe in you. You know, now I believe in what you had seen, because now I can see it. But that's how life's journey is. People will not believe in you unless you believe in yourself. You are the tip of the arrow. If the tip of the arrow is afraid to hit its target, the rest of the arrow fails. So you must believe in yourself. Hauna option. Sorry, you've got no option.
Walk me through that moment where you have something in your mind. It fascinates you. You keep dreaming about it. Because I know even for the people who are watching, someone is at that stage in their life. They know this is what I need to be doing. They are fascinated. They dream about it. They talk about it. But they don't know now how to move from that step to the next step.
If you asked me 20 years ago if I was going to be a bag maker, I would have told you must be crazy. I didn't know. I thought I was going to be the best music producer in the world. End of. And I was 100% sure of that. Then I got to a point where I got bored of that. I did it over and over and over and over, won all the awards I needed to win. And I didn't need to prove a point to anybody. The point that I needed to prove was to myself, and I'd already proved that point. And I think I'm one of those people who I get really bored quickly once I answer the question in my mind. When you say it can't be done, and I do it, I'm like, okay, I did it, so what else can't be done? You know? But to dovetail back into what you've asked, you never really know what your purpose is until you stumble upon the journey. And for me, stumbling upon the Joka Jok journey is, I've reflected a lot on it this past year, and it's been about rediscovery, reinvention, and an emergence of a new me from a great loss. I believed that life was going to be a straight line until one day it became a very crooked line. And the process of grief and the process of finding myself again, this is what came out. You know, a totally different human, a totally different character with totally different outlooks in life. I mean, I look at the 20 years back, who I was and who I am now, and I think to myself, bro, you must have been crazy, you know? But it's an honest assessment of who I was, who I want to be, and what I aspire to. Right now, for me, it's more, if you believe in it, do it. I believe in Africa. I believe in the African dream. I believe in value add. I believe that Joka Jok is only the first wave in a huge wave of what I call the new Africa. You know, the emergence of people who want to take back what belongs to them, value add it, and use those commodities to trade with the world, as opposed to being disenfranchised and coming to the table and not being able to sit on the table, but eating the crumbs on the floor. You know, I use the words, the wealth creation, and I never use the words poverty alleviation, because poverty alleviation just means to elevate somebody one step higher than poverty. And remember, it takes one illness for you to do what? Drop back into poverty. It takes one calamity for you to drop back into poverty. So why are you trying to alleviate my poverty? Don't alleviate my poverty. Enable me to create wealth so that I am not just sustainable for myself, but I can sustain people around me. I can build people around me. I can lift people around me. And that's what our raw materials, such as leather, such as coffee, such as, enables us to do. It enables us to build brands, and those brands then build jobs, and those jobs then build wealth. So don't ever give up on your dream. Don't ever give up on what you're trying to do. I'm sure your purpose will enlighten your journey.
Walk me through the execution stage, because right now there's an idea here, but we gotta have to execute it either ways.
Yes.
We have to put one foot in front of the other
Yes.
for us to be able to create something. Walk me through the first days of executing your knowledge on leather, and why did you know this is the way I want to go? Where did the idea of bags come from?
The idea of bags came from twofold. I was going through a lot of grief, like I told you, and then I thought to myself, I've got to bag my emotions and just, so bag, wow. And then also my late wife had wanted to do bags before she passed.
She was classy.
Yes. 3 days before she passed, she launched her brand, RK, and she passed without doing it. After the whole grief period, and at the time when I felt like I need to start bagging these emotions, all of those conversations started coming up in my mind. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? I have this background in design, in product design, and I can use this background in product design to then design bags. And I wanted to do a travel show. So I wanted to simply make a travel bag. And it's funny because I went to a leather company and I said, hey guys, do you have a travel bag? I want to just use that travel bag. I will do this travel show and I'll always highlight the bag. And the guys sort of kind of chased me away.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, okay, well, they don't want to do it. I still want to do the show. Let me design the bag. I finished designing the bag, sat with one of the tailors who I knew. They created the bag, and then he says, oh, so what are we going to call it? And I say, Joka Jok. And he goes, what? How did you think about that? I said, I don't know, but I'm trusting. You know how people say trust the process? I am trusting the process. Now, this sounds very airy-fairy, but remember, I had 2 years of a lot of meditation and a lot of reflection. So there's all of these thoughts in my mind that I don't even know are in the recess of my mind. So that's what gave birth to Joka Jok. And Joka Jok is Josiah, Qatar, Josiah. Me, my late wife, and my daughter. Yeah. And also it's the lineage of the part of the Luo who moved from the Nile all the way into East Africa. So it has a cultural meaning. It also has it has a legacy meaning for me. And for me, the legacy meaning meant a lot more because here we are, we've migrated as Africans, the Bantus migrated this way, the Nilotes migrated that way, the Kushites migrated wherever they migrated. And who are we as a nation? Who are we as a continent? What are we going to be 40 years from now? Are we going to be beggars? So this migration has not stopped. We may be, in our minds, we think we live in Nairobi, so we're thinking, wow, we have settled. No. Remember, you have a lineage that's following you. Some of them might be born and go to the States and go to Germany and go to Russia and go to wherever and wherever. Have we lost our seed? I believe we will have lost our seed if that happens. Now, as we try and get grounded and rooted, who do we become? What legacy you leave behind dictates who we become in future. It dictates who those, in Luo we say Oganda, the seed. It dictates what the seed becomes and what the seed absorbs from you. What are they going to absorb? Are they going to absorb macadamia's 5 bob? Coffee is worthless. Let's cut down the coffee and make coal because it's worthless. Are they going to absorb, my mother was a tea farmer and she was always frustrated, so let me just sell this farm? Are they going to absorb I don't want to be a doctor because my father was a doctor and look at what he had. Absolutely nothing. On strike all the time. Are they going to absorb, I don't want to be a police officer because it is not a majestic job? What are they going to absorb? What do we leave as a legacy? That's what drives me, because we have to turn the tide around and make Africa the rich continent that it is, and make the African wealthy.
Because leather we have, right?
We have a lot of leather.
And you go and get this piece and take it to your first tailor, and you are trusting again the process.
Yes.
A bag comes out.
Yes.
How was your first bag like?
My first bag looked hideous. It looked very hideous. But I believed in it, and people bought it. I need to apologize to our clients who bought the first bag. All 5 of you, please return your bags and I will give you brand new bags. Now we do very nice bags. Some of you have already cashed in on that.
Yes.
But the ones who haven't cashed in, please. Obviously, when you're starting out, it's like when you're a teen and you think you want to be a baker, and then your mom tells you, okay, go into the kitchen and bake. Something's gonna burn. The bag didn't look all that, but I believed in it. And then as a creative, I've taught myself this. Criticism is beautiful because that's where you get all the ideas. Now, if you're not used to being criticized and you catch a mood, you will never find ideas. So for me, when people criticize, I don't catch a mood. I listen because, yeah, it might come out in, that bag of yours is so rubbish. Why did you make it in black? You should have made it in red and black. Oh, I should have made it in red. I'm taking notes.
Brown.
Yeah, I should have made it. Okay. What other color would you want? Now, you see, they're giving you feedback.
Free.
Exactly. Now that feedback for me developed what you see as Joka Jok now. I can only take credit for the first bag that I made. The rest of the bags are customer feedback. We want a small bag that is affordable. We want a bag out of canvas. We want a lady's bag that is just almost like a bucket bag that you can close. We want a bag with a bit of floral element. We want So I listen to people. And one of the things I realized a lot looking at the competition is everybody was afraid of color. Joka Jok is never afraid of color. We've made the red bags, green bags, blue bags, yellow bags. We love color, Kambani Central. we love to play with color. Color is a beautiful thing, and Africans are known for color. So by shying away from color, when you're working with leather, you're actually doing the African a disservice.
Yes.
Because Africans, we are colorful people.
Good. Eh?
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the biggest challenge for creatives is monetizing an idea.
Yes.
You've just spoken about the 5 people that got the bags, right?
Yes.
At what stage did you realize, oh my goodness, what I'm holding here, I can also cash on it and make some good profits? And at what point did you say, man, you remember that place you went and you needed a bag and you were going to give them free exposure? When did your mind shift from, I could have shortchanged myself in that process and this is now the way to go?
I didn't feel like I shortchanged myself. I felt like it was part of the journey.
Oh, wow.
And that door had to be shut for me to find my path. So I was like, well, at least I know that that's not the direction I'm supposed to go, and I'm supposed to go this direction. But in terms of when did I realize that I could monetize this, I kept on praying and I said, if one person buys this bag, that will be all the validation I need. That is, after that, I'm not looking back. And my initial bag was 37,000 shillings. It wasn't cheap. 5 people bought. I thought to myself, actually, guess what? That's all the validation I needed. And everybody kept on asking me, why are you calling it African luxury? I said, Kwani Africa is not luxurious. Kwani Africans should not carry luxurious things. When you see us as Africans, do we look poor? Or is that the mentality that you want me to forever embrace? Because I'm not poor. Sorry. I can't be. Not in me. Or should I say that with a low accent for it to reflect properly?
Please.
You should know people.
It's a lifestyle.
It is a liability. But do I say?
No.
But in all honesty, the whole narrative of Africans being poor, I am so tired of it. Because in all honesty, if Africa didn't exist, the world would not exist. Gold, diamonds, cocoa, coffee, tea, wildlife, you name it. Africa has it. The richness of the globe depends on Africa. Why is the African having a poor mindset? Why? We joke about it, but why is the African having a poor mindset? The African should be the one who is helping the rest of the world, not the other way around. Don't come take my natural resource and then come and, try and break me off a little 5% of my own resource. No, you take 5% of my resource. It's my resource. I cannot go and create a joke in the West. It wouldn't have happened. I must be a joke at home first. It is impossible for me to be successful elsewhere if I am not successful in my own homeland. Mm-hmm. That is why I say to myself, poverty is just a mindset that we need to get rid of as Africans.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think this whole myth, of Africans, we are poor, we need to be fed, we need to be donated to, who is actually responsible for portraying such an image out there?
Ourselves and Christianity. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. Ourselves and Christianity. Because we believe that the meek shall inherit the earth. Which meek person have you ever seen inherit the earth? Which humble person have you ever seen inherit even a presidency? Which one? I don't know any humble person who's inherited anything. Okay? You expand territories through what? Through war and acquisition by force, by fire. And the honest truth is that Africans have been taught to be so docile and so timid and so it's okay. Let me turn the other cheek. No, I'm sorry, we can't turn the other cheek anymore. That era ended. Mm. And this is a new Africa. I'm not going to slap you back. I'm just going to take from your hands what belongs to me. That's all. You stay with yours. I don't want yours. Let what belongs to me belong to me and let me trade with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah? That has been the problem. The problem is the mindset. And the education system that teaches us that we should all just be subjugated to a form of, I see our Africans and I see them sometimes just working like worker ants. You know how ants don't ask any questions there? I think they're told by the queen, go and carry that big piece of bread. And you see like 6 ants, Mazi struggling, carrying a crumb of bread to go and take it to the queen. That's how Africans are, Not anymore. Not anymore. The African spirit is Ubuntu. I am because you are. If you cease to exist and you cease to be as successful, I cease to be successful. I am only as successful
because
as you are successful. So your success and my success are intertwined. Now, we have to start raising each other up together in that spirit and stop the tribal bickering, the national bickering, the stupidity that has engulfed us as Africans, so that we unite and build. Ubuntu is unity. Mm-hmm. When we forgot Ubuntu,
we forgot everything.
We forgot everything. Mm. We thought the white man's ways were the best, but the white man's ways are not the best.
True story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you spoke about our natural resources. Let's talk about leather, because this is something that we have in Africa. This is something that we have in our country. But then you spoke about luxury too. At what point did you realize, I know I have access to this leather, but I'm not going to be mediocre with my work?
In all my life, to be honest with you, I have always done things as if I am doing them for God. Wow. So if I make a bracelet, I don't make it for a man. I make it as if I'm making it for God. Now, if somebody told you, go and make this episode for God, how much more serious would you tell your cameraman to be? And the editor, and the lights person, and the sound person, and all of those people. How much more serious would you tell them to be?
The way they are
It wouldn't be an ordinary day at work. It would be, hey, we're doing this one for God.
Yes.
God is the person we're interviewing today. So for me, every single thing I do, whether it's a piece of music, a piece of photography, a video, a bag, whatever it is, I do it as if I am doing it in the service of the Almighty. That is and always will be my blueprint for excellence and luxury. When you're giving God stuff, you're not going to give him, you're going to make sure that the handkerchief you're giving him, if that's the only thing you have, you've washed it, you've ironed it, you folded it nicely and said, this is all I have to give you. Please accept it. You wouldn't give it dirty. So why would we do substandard elements for each other? Because God is watching what we do to each other, you know? And that's my driving force.
Okay. I love that. That's very powerful.
Thank you. My grandma used to tell me that I grew up in a place called Nyaururu. I am a Jaluo, yes, but I grew up in a place called Jororoko. And she used to tell me, even if you're going to the shop, dress up and look good. And the shop was up the road. So I would have to shower and put on proper clothes and then go to the shop. You couldn't just go looking scruffy. He said, everything you do it as if you're doing it for God. And for me, that has always lived with me. So it's in the recess of my mind. If you give me something rubbish and I ask you to do it, you'll have to do it again. You will have to do it again. Because excellence should be what we define ourselves with. Always.
But then the question would be, if we have all these resources, we have leather, we have coffee, we have macadamia, we have tea, why the heck are we still the way we are right now?
Why are we the way we are right now? We are the way we are right now because we have made a choice to live poor. Africans have made a choice to live poor. The day Africans make a choice to live rich, they will live rich. China had made a choice only about 25 years ago to become a superpower. And what happened to China 25 years ago? After the Tiananmen Square, what happened to China? It became an industrial superpower. What was that? A collective choice. Where is Africa now? I think Africa, part of West Africa, you're seeing a revolution.
Yes.
And you're seeing this revolution of a collective choice. And you're also seeing a pushback with certain people not wanting Africans to have that revolution. But it's because they have been so parasitic and eaten so much of Africa that they've gotten used to eating the fat of Africa. We as Africans need to say, no, my friend, this leather is mine. So if you want it, buy it as a finished product because it's beautiful. Don't you think it's beautiful?
Very.
This cocoa is mine. If you want it, you buy it as a finished product. This oil is mine. If you want it, you come and take it as a finished product. This coffee is mine. If you want it, come and take it as a finished product. Don't take the natural resource and disenfranchise me and then come and throw some tokens of, let me open for you a shop, let me open for you a school, let me open for you a church. No, I don't want it. I don't want any schools. I don't want any churches. We can build our own. We just need our natural resources given back to us. Actually, we don't even need them given back to us. We need to take back control of what belongs to Africa.
How do we take back control?
Governance. You saw I didn't even miss a beat when you asked that question.
Yes.
Governance, good governance. Not governance that subjugates us to slavery again. Governance that removes the shackles of loans that don't make sense, of priorities that don't make sense, not governance that puts us in cocoons of tribalism and subdivision because they want to divide and rule. No, but governance that leads with umoja, unity. I'll give you an example of governance. Tanzania had maybe over 200 tribes at independence. The late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere decided, I am going to remove tribalism from this nation by unifying people under one language and one way of living. So they had the ujamaa system. So if you were driving down the road with your car and somebody stopped you and asked you for a lift, it would be a criminal offense for you not to give them a lift. Ujamaa, we are together in one. And then he said, we must all learn what? One language, Swahili. That is why I asked you at the beginning, shall we do this in Swahili or in English? I would rather we did it in Swahili because I want to pay homage to the people who were trying to build African unity. I understand that now we live in a digital era and not everybody would understand Swahili, but people like Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, what did he do for his country? I'll give you an example. Diamond, that's what he did for his country. Where's our diamond? Where? Can we answer that question? Do we have someone who millions embrace? Do you know, when you think about it that way? Or do we have pockets of divisive stuff?
Yeah.
You know? How much division do you have in East Africa Kenya compared to Tanzania? Do you understand? Kenya is very divided.
Yes.
And why is it very divided? Because Kenya is the prize. Kenya is the place that if you come and divide and rule, you can take it back. It was Kenya was a protectorate, not just a colony. I don't know if you understand what that meant. It was being protected for the Queen's interest. It is still sometimes feels like a protectorate. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but these are just the facts. Because the people are disenfranchised, but the beauty and splendor of the land is still there. There's enough. You know, we say in our national anthem, plenty be found within our borders. So much is available in Kenya. So much. It is a bread basket, a haven. But is everybody benefiting from it?
No.
No. You know, why?
Why? One of the things when I talk to entrepreneurs, they talk about is support, you know. I ask, do you feel the support you are receiving from your government is enough? Do you feel supported by your government?
If you want to create a conducive environment for entrepreneurs, you need to give them long runway. What do I mean? Entrepreneurs are not like helicopters. You don't fly upward. You need a long runway to be able to take off. And by the time you take off and you stabilize your plane and you can go into autopilot, at that point is when you start to see the fruits of the takeoff.
Yeah.
But if entrepreneurs and SMEs are being hard tackled before they even take off from the runway, what happens to that country? It loses SMEs. It gets a brain drain because everybody feels like every time I try to do something, I get frustrated. I have to jump another hoop and another hoop and another hoop. And what's the point of living this dream? So imagine you have this dream. You're a young person, you're in your 20s, and you believe that God has destined you to create value add in the macadamia nut industry. And your father left you with 10 acres. And all you want to do is get a little grant, not a loan, but a little grant to see if what you thought would happen, because it could fail. Who's going to give you a grant? I've never been given a grant all my life. Nobody's ever come and said, oh, here's some money, you're doing a great thing. No, bro, you on your own. But imagine if there were facilities of, let us as Africa, let me not say Kenya, let us as Africa look at 1 million SMEs through the AU across the continent. We know that not all 1 million are going to succeed, but if 100,000 of them succeed,
We are good.
Africa is now playing ball on a different level. So it's worth a try. As AU, we have a bank. We can give all these people, I won't say young people, because also Colonel Sanders, who started KFC, was not a young person when he started it. He was 65. Let's give all these people these ideas, X amount of money. Some of it will burn, some of it will take off. That's why I say long runway. When it takes off, now we can use these as flagships. We can now bolster these ones and support them, and they can become now export products. And imagine if the Kenyan, right now we import more than we export. Now, what if that trade imbalance starts to change because we've created such an enabling environment for the entrepreneur and the SME, and now the trade imbalance is the other way around. So Kenya has more dollars than it needs by far, and it has all these brands that you can find in London, in Paris, in Milan, in everywhere. All these people doing all these amazing things. And imagine what would happen to the country. What would happen?
That's it. We are good.
We are sorted. Why does that not happen? Tokenism. And for me, tokenism doesn't work. In all honesty, I love my country. I love the people in charge. God says, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I have no gripe against them. What I really would like is for once, for this nation to build its people. Build its people. Don't build opportunities for foreigners to come and invest. No, build your people.
Yeah.
It is so important. People like you who are doing what you're doing, people like me who are doing what we're doing, and all the other myriads of people who are doing beautiful things, if they were built, they would be able to create more jobs. They would be able to create more opportunities. You'd be in a position where now you're training young people on how to handle content and how to create media and how to develop. Now you're giving back and you're creating a whole army of people who are telling the African story.
There's a wave around in our country, and I've seen it also on social media. I think also one of these media personalities closed down one of her shops, and she attributed it to the harsh, economy that we are in. And a lot of people are saying running a business in Kenya is not easy. Is that true?
Running a business in Kenya is not easy. That is 100% true. But running a business anyway is not easy. And it's never going to be easy. You're not going to be given everything on a silver platter. That's the honest truth as well. And you have to really cut your suit to your size. What that media personality said was entirely true. It is very difficult to create and build brands and businesses in Kenya, especially SMEs. But that doesn't mean that we have to focus on the hard time. We also have to focus on the why.
Yeah.
Because if you really believe that God will make a way, then He'll make a way. Or is it just a song we sing in church? Do you know?
Just a song.
If it's just a song, then He won't make a way because you don't believe it.
Yes.
But if you believe that God will make a way, then God will make a way. And I'm saying this from a real position of love, because 7 years ago, I would have told you, just let me die. Just let me die. This child, give them to their relatives. Me, just let me die. I don't know what my purpose in life is. I don't want to live at all. To be in that dark place for that long. And I look back now, 7 years later, And I think to myself, wow, just let me die. Were you stupid? I mean, God must have been thinking to himself, it's okay. If you knew the future, you wouldn't be saying that, but just keep saying it. Kesho bado nitakufunza. Na kesho kutwa, I'll teach you again. And the day after, until you learn the lesson, then I'll start to lift you up. Because I don't know why you're feeling sad for yourself when this is just a trial period for you. So a lot of people celebrated when the media personality lost the business, but we shouldn't celebrate in people's failure. Ubuntu. I am because you are. If you fail, I am immediately going to fail. I will follow. You will not succeed because I failed. You will fail because I failed. You will succeed because I succeeded. I will succeed because you succeeded. My failure and your failure is intertwined whether we like it or not. Especially Africans. We are not white. We don't live by that culture. We're black. We live by a different culture. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying.
I get it.
But for me, it is so clear. It is crystal clear. So I cannot celebrate. Hey, wow. Oh, look at that person. They failed. Oh my gosh. Now that's an opportunity for me to... No. Come, my sister.
Rise up.
Rise up. Because I need you to be on the same level as me. We're doing this journey together. So no, don't celebrate in people's failures. That just shows that you have embraced an evil side of you, which you shouldn't. Yeah.
What structures, apart from, making it easier for people, give them the runway, what other structures can governments put in place, Africa, when it comes to Africa, to make it easier for SMEs to succeed? Also for you, as someone who started from scratch, could you walk us through a couple of principles and things that you've done to make sure that you are consistent and you're also disciplined along this journey?
I'm the kind of fool who believes that tomorrow will be better. So let's keep going even if today's crap. And I think that foolishness is what has brought me to this level, because I'm stupid enough to dare to just keep going. A lot of people are smart enough to leave when the going gets tough. But for me, I'm like, wait a minute, but if this is my purpose, then he's going to make a way. So let's go, Yes. And then every day has a different season. There's going to be rainy tomorrow. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be weathery. Like I said, life is not a straight line. It is full of ups and downs, and all of those create the tapestry of your life and the experiences. What do you need? You need consistency. You need to keep going at it, whether you believe it, you don't believe it, your mother believes it, your father believes it, they don't believe it, your cousin believes it, you don't have money today. Just because you don't have money today, who told you that you won't have money tomorrow? Did somebody tell you that the money that you won't have tomorrow?
No.
So how dare you start telling yourself that you won't have money tomorrow? Those are things that you're believing your present day circumstance as opposed to being consistent at your craft. So if this is what you're making, keep on making it. If you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, leave it alone. Find something you believe in and be consistent at that. Consistency pays off, and it really does. What else do governments need to do? Governments need to stop with the lip service and genuinely empower people. Because I'm sure that there's a lot of people here in this country right now who could bring in a lot of dollars to this country. A lot of dollars to this country. Because they're creating commodities that the West wants. But they have bottlenecks and too many hurdles to jump, not knowing that if you gave them an opportunity to rise up, you would be creating a whole new, different generation. And that legacy is what you would want to leave behind as good government.
Yes. I want to get into the bag. But when we came here, you told me, Lynn, I want to give you a walk.
Yes.
I don't want you to come in here and see the luxury. I want to take you to where it all starts. First and foremost, why is that important for you to show people the origin and the people behind this work?
You know, it's very easy to start a brand. You go get your software nowadays, AI, you say, AI, design me a logo. Is that what you do? Okay, I've never used AI. And I never
like
will.
that, yeah.
It design me a logo. It should look like this. And maybe you do it with your eyes closed. Yeah, and then it comes out a logo. Yes, mtumnoma.com. Yeah, sawa. AI, tell me what mtumnoma.com should make. And then AI does it for you. And then,
Yes.
No, nah, I don't believe in that. I believe in hard work and the labor of your, the fruit of your labor. So the reason I took you through the leather studio is so that you can see the process and the people. Those two P's are very important for me. The process and the people. Because you see, each person there is a family fed and an extended family taken care of. And you know how African families are. If you're a man and you have 4 children and a wife, multiply that by 4. Because your wife comes with siblings. They need school fees. They need a hospital. Now you have inherited your wife's mother. So your wife's mother has all her hospital bills, and if she needs fertilizer or stones, I don't know which one she needs, moves on swiftly, you have to buy them for her. Yeah? And then you have to take care of her. And then you have to put mabati on her little corrugated iron on her little thatch, and then you have to send her a TV. And imagine how many things one man has to do in that leather studio. And then imagine the women as well, taking care of their families, And I told you earlier on, for me, it's not just about empowering the women. Because if you empower the women and you disenfranchise the men that the women are married to, then you find a drunk man at home feeling depressed and dejected, and his wife has come from the leather studio working hard. And when you're working in the leather studio, your hands become hard.
Yes.
So that woman, you don't think you're going to slap her and she'll go, she might box you also her. She has strong hands. Leather is hard. So she's come from the leather studio and she's there. Now you're asking her to cook for you, and you have no job. So all I'm trying to say is this: we have to make sure that the family unit, the mother and the father have jobs, or the single mother has a job, or the single father has a job. I started Joka Jog as a single dad, a baby and bags. So I understood very earlier on when I started that you're going to have to support these people regardless of the family units that they come from, because all parents are important.
Yeah.
And all money that comes is good money for them. That's why the people and the processes for me are very important for me to expose our clientele to when they come. We call this an experiential store. So come and experience. And if you want to sit down and actually help cut your bag, help stitch your bag, or help grind some of the coffee and sit down and enjoy the coffee as you wait for your bag, please feel free. So that when you leave here, you feel like, I didn't just buy a bag. I know who made my bag.
Good.
I know where my dollars are going to. That for me is so important.
Yeah.
It's not a sweatshop. Yes, they work hard, but they're human beings,
Good. Huh? Walk me through the process of making a Joka Jog bag.
The process of making a Joka Jog bag is pretty simple. It's a 3-step process. Once I finish doing the design, they have a pattern. So the cutters will use the pattern to cut the leather. And once the cutters are done, they give it to the assembly team. And the assembly team will assemble those elements together.
Yeah.
And then give it to the stitching team. And the stitching team will stitch the elements together and then give it back to the assembly team to finish and give it to us as a finished bag. So it's cutting, assembly, stitching. And that is literally the process of any good bag. Sometimes you have finishing because of certain elements that you want to finish nicely on a bag. But we like to leave our bags, with that nice rustic look of handmade in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
The African touch.
Yes, the African touch is never perfect. It's just it has a little squiggly thing, There's beauty in batik. And batik is not a straight, clean line.
Cut.
It's whatever comes out, comes out. That's the art of it. So for me, that making it artistic means that you try and make it perfectly imperfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenges, because is it always a straight line?
Oh.
Joke, it's always a good day. We come do the bags, have our beautiful finished products. Oh, have you had your moments?
You've come when we have chairs.
Yes.
That's a milestone. We have chairs. For real, we have chairs.
Yes.
This is what, and can't you see how I'm sitting on my chair there? I'm enjoying. This started with one machine in literally a chicken house with rats at the top, and us hoping that one day we'll get a store, we'll get a place where people can come and chill. We were not here all the time. We've only been here 1 year, where you are right now. We started from very humble beginnings, and for us this is still humble beginnings, because when we look at our growth trajectory and where we would like to be, this is absolutely nothing. This is just part of the staircase to success. So the challenges, especially when you're starting, people are going to tell you, even if you're selling that thing for 1 cent or 1 shilling, that is too expensive. You're going to have to find your target audience. Finding your target audience means that you're going to hit some bumps and challenges here and there. Finding adequate leather, finding right suppliers, the supply chain, creating the supply chain and the system that constantly moves without you having to be involved too much. That is always going to be a challenge for anybody doing manufacturing, because one day you have the black leather, the next day it's out of stock and the dye cannot come from China. And then you have clients who want only black items. What do? The dye is in China. I'm telling you things that have happened to us for real. And during COVID, some of the chemicals got stuck at the port, and some of them were diverted, and I don't know they went where. And hey, and you think to yourself, why don't I just make music? It's so much easier. If I just stay in my studio and make music, I should have listened to my friend who told me this was not going to be successful. Maybe he was right, So self-doubt is also a challenge that I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about. But there is a lot of self-doubt. But if you don't doubt yourself, then you're not alive.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you're always confident. Even you, as Lynn, you can't make you 100% confident when you're in front of the camera. You just... There are days when you just feel like, you guys, so you do it without me, It's human nature to not have your toot together 100%. You can't, you're not always organized and conformed, and you have challenges of finances.
Yeah.
We've had days when I've had to, and this is for real, I've had to ask myself, so am I going to buy the diapers? Am I going to buy the formula? Or am I going to pay the fundi today? I can only do one. And you think to yourself, okay, my child comes first. I shouldn't even be thinking like that, because what kind of parent am I thinking that I'm going to deny my child? And then you find a way.
Yeah.
And these are real challenges that have happened to me. Are we going to pay electricity, or are we just going to wait and hopefully in the middle of the night somebody will buy a bag and then we can load the token? That has happened to us. And, people like to put on this air of, I am successful and I am wealthy and see me. No. No, it doesn't happen like that. Last year I did a little video and I showed people the car that I drive as an SME that I had driven for 10 years. And some people laughed at me. It was an old beat up Land Rover. I used to call it Old Faithful because it took me everywhere in the country I needed to go. Granted, not at the speed that other people went. I used to see people with Porsche Cayennes going whoosh, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm listening to jazz music and trying to meditate.
Was it manual?
And yes, very manual, very manual.
Then you gotta open the doors.
Yes,
like this.
you have to. There was nothing. It was old school, and I was very proud of that because for me, it wasn't investing in see how successful I am for you to invest in me. It was let me put the money in people. Let me put the money in machines. Let me put the money, reinvest the money in real things like leather and what. Sadly, that car was written off this year. I had a road accident and the car went. So RIP to my lovely Land Rover Freelander. May you rest in peace somewhere in Machakos. But those type of challenges are real. And then thinking to myself, okay, I've come from a video shoot. I really want to get home. This bus might kill me and my child might be parentless. Wow. Those are real challenges that any SME is going to go through when they're living life, You might be going to get your supplies and something happens and you're a single parent. Because, just running an SME doesn't mean that you don't have parental responsibilities. You do have parental responsibilities and also the challenge of time. Am I spending enough time with my child vis-a-vis the company? Because the harder you push the company, the more successful you are. But you have a little child that you're not spending time with because you're busy pushing the company. You start feeling like that, those Hollywood movies of, I'm a horrible father, I'm always busy at work and my child doesn't have time. That is why I work from home. So my child can come to any place that I am at any point and be a part of what I'm doing. Yeah. So I hope that this culture of working from home seeps into her and she just becomes part of it. But also spending time with her is very, very important. Very, very important. She's very well. She's abandoned me. She went to see her grandmother. I think I am not so cool anymore. Yeah, when they're turning 7, they become opinionated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now she has her opinion.
She has an opinion. Yeah, very big opinion about life and how life should be lived. And that is it's a struggle.
Yeah, but you've done amazing though.
God has done amazing. I have just been a tool in the master's hands. God has done amazing. I am a royal mess up of a human being, but God has been merciful and loved on me in a way that I can't explain to human beings. But I am only a tool in the master's hands. So don't see me, see God.
Where do you balance between being spiritual and religious?
When you die, will you go with your body? No. So you're more spiritual than you are physical. This is just a vehicle for the journey. This is just a tool. So I must be at peace with my spiritual being, and I must be in communion with my spiritual being consistently in order to find my purpose and in order to find my gifts and talents. You see, the gifts and talents I have are used to drive my purpose, and without me knowing what gift I was given and finding it, how am I going to find my gift? It's by communing in the spirit. It's not by being in a nightclub, getting drunk. His word says, "Be still and now I am God." If you commune with the Creator, you know where you're supposed to go, even when people doubt where you are going. You know it. It's not because you know it, it's because there's a fire burning inside you that's telling you, no, keep on going. You said you're at 900K. Wow, keep on going. There were people who were doubting you, but wow, you kept on going. So that's an example.
Yeah.
Did you keep on going because you're very hard-headed, or did you keep on going because there was something inside you that kept on burning and telling you, no, just switch it on and go and go. You know, for me, that's why spirituality is important.
Good, thank you for that. But you said something. There were days you weighed between tokens, milk, diapers, or paying the funti. But then outside, everyone is looking at Tedd Josiah as this beautiful music producer, celebrity who has it all figured out. Does the celebrity mindset ever get to you? That whole culture, I'm a celeb, so no one will see me in a matatu. And what made you show people this is actually what I drive and this is what I'm going through in my life right now?
First of all, let me just put the record straight. I am not a celebrity. There's nothing to celebrate in this being. I am a work of royal mess. Absolute. Let's have that clear. Never call me a celebrity. If you want to offend me, call me a celebrity. There's nothing to celebrate. I'm just a boy going through his life journey. And this was my calling. So this is how I'm walking. So I show people the raw, and sometimes they think, oh, he's just making it up. No, I'm not making it up. It's very important for young people to realize this. Your journey is not going to be easy. Your journey, forget even entrepreneurship, just your life journey. You're going to be in your 20s as a young man. You're going to be bashed about by life. And you don't have a direction because you've just finished uni. You're looking for your first job. Now you've been asked to be an intern with no pay, and you're telling your folks, oh, give me fare, and your dad is looking, but you have a job. No, I'm an intern. What is an intern? You know, you have to now ask for fare, and then you get your job, and you're going to work, and you're getting some work experience, and you're thinking to yourself, man, why am I not getting paid? You're getting experience. The more experience you're getting, the more knowledgeable you become. The more knowledgeable you become, and the more dedicated to your work you become, the more you rise up. And then all of a sudden, you're now in your 30s and you have some air of success. You're an assistant manager somewhere. You are driving a nice, beautiful car, and here comes a challenge. A beautiful damsel walks into your life. And what happens? You think, okay, let me get married. I'm ready to settle because all my friends are settling down. And then because you're slightly successful, you're still going to the club and you find another damsel, and then you go into the road of Damascus. And the road to Damascus is not a beautiful road. You remember there was a guy called Saul who was in a Subaru? I don't know why you're laughing.
He was in a Subaru.
He was in a Subaru. Subaru boys. Saul. And he was a tax collector. Where? Man, Noma. And what happened to him? God said, hold my beer. Saul, with his Subaru, blah, blah, entered zebras. Didn't do what? Sago on a zebra crossing. Oh, the girlfriend died in the car. He was blinded. And then he became Paul. Every human being goes through that road to Damascus. That's why I say life is not a straight road. And you emerge bitter or better. And your life is redefined. And I don't know that I have ever seen the accounting books of Saul. But I've seen Acts, the book that Paul wrote after his road to Damascus. Audience, raise your hands in the air if you have been through the road to Damascus.
Oh, God.
You know, So I say all of that to try and inspire young people not to despair because of where you are in your life's journey. It's not that you're going to finish primary, you go to secondary, then you go to uni, then you get a degree, then you get a master's, then you get a PhD, then you get a beautiful job and you get a beautiful wife and a beautiful house. No, it doesn't happen like that. Life is going to go where life wants to go, how it wants to go. And you must ride the wave.
Yes.
I think for young men, what I can tell them is there's a saying in Swahili that it goes a bit like this. Subira uvuta heri. Patience will bring you a lot more blessings. Rushing into relationships can get you into character development seriously, yeah? Especially young men. Because the whole way that people socialize nowadays has changed. You have social media. And social media, any pretty thing is going to get more likes than any ugly thing. And men are not pretty. You know, men are handsome. So already they have been disqualified. So now if you have a very attractive lady, obviously she's going to have a lot more market share, quote unquote,
Yes.
than a young man will. Or if you have a young man with the six-pack and the abs and the good looks and the cars and the what, it might all be a facade, but he's going to get all the women. And also it has made people think that if this physical being called Lynn is giving me a nightmare and a headache today, or maybe she doesn't want to do the thing I want to do, I've got all these options on my phone that I can DM to do all these things. So if Lynn is not going to take me on a weekend away to the Mara,
I'm sorted.
there's another girl who's going to take me on a weekend away. I'm sorted, you know? And having too many options destroys social fabric, because then it's like we're drunk with power. We're drunk with options, you know? Too much of everything is poison. That's what they say, isn't it? And I think that's the take home. You have to be very measured in your social media relationships versus your real relationships. And you have to know that not every day is going to be a beautiful day with the person you're in a relationship with, woman or man. There are just going to be some days that you knock heads, you know. They're going to be, you've been raised differently. This person has been raised differently. And we've raised our girls to be very independent, as opposed to our mothers who are dependent and our grandmothers who are very dependent. Our mothers had careers. The nannies brought our girls up, and our girls wanted to become more independent than our mothers. And now the dating pool, me and my small little salary might not be enough for Miss Independent, because she wants a guy with a lot more money than I do. Now what's going to happen to little old me with my heart? Am I going to be singing Boys to Men? Now that we've come. It's the painful emotions, you know, and then you're singing it in your car by yourself. You don't want your boys to see you cry. So you take a moment when you're in the bar, you go to your Kasubaru, you cry your tears. And then you come back and your friends are asking you, hey, why are your eyes so red? You say, it's Nini, some smoke went in my eye. Yeah. You don't want to, you know, men don't share their true emotions. Yeah. So there's all of that. Ladies, thankfully, have more close-knit units where they can share emotions and, you know, they can share with their girls. Me, I'm in my 50s. One of the things you realize when you're in your 50s is this. The relationships you had when you're in your 20s have reduced by almost 80%. You're lucky if you have two good friends who you can call. You know? So the older you get, the less
The circle.
The smaller the circle, especially for men. Now, your circle becomes not people you can depend on, people who are depending on you, which becomes very difficult. But through wisdom of age, you can see problems before they come your way. Yeah, so nowadays I can see them a mile away. I say, okay, it's okay. When they slide in the DM, I say, hi, hello. I greet you.
So they slide in the DM.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But I'm just not there. And even my career would not allow me to be there because I've got the baby, I've got the bags, I've got, trying to build an SME does not give you a lot of a social life.
So you're not there yet. But has it come also with, pressure from people? Time is going for you, especially as, a man, a single dad. Have you encountered also pressure from your social circles? Like, hey, unagoja nini?
Take time to heal before you get into a relationship, and don't heal fully, but heal to a point where you can open your heart up in an honest way. And the person that you relate with should be in a position to understand that you are raw, because with grief comes a lot of emotional turmoil. And you can be laughing 1 minute and the next minute you're just in a total confused daze, because you're asking yourself, why should I be happy? Why should I be happy? Why should I be happy? I should be sad. I should be sad. I should be sad. There's all of that. But I've thankfully been in a position where I have a very good support system and people who understand and people who have walked this journey with me. Not many, few. And it has been, at the 7-year mark, I can say, wow, what a different human being that you are. Yeah.
Do you think this is something Regina would be proud of?
I hope so. Maybe she'd look at it and say, maybe it's just my own piped dream. I don't know, because again, it's not as much for her as it is for legacy. And legacy means you look ahead. And looking ahead means that you heal, because you can't dwell in the past. So this has been part of my healing journey, but it's also been part of my building a legacy journey. Rebirth. You know what they say? They say, for the phoenix to rise from the ashes, it must be entirely burnt. So I like that analogy, because we work with leather, which is rubbish that people would throw away. It rises from the ashes, and this symbolizes my life. Yeah, it's a whole new me.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
So I might call you to my wedding soon, eh?
It's beautiful. And one of the things, you mentioned were gifts. And sometimes I try to ask myself, because I know I'm gifted in other areas, but I've always felt
Say it again. Say it like you mean it. Say it with your chest.
I know I'm so gifted
in
other areas.
Yes.
Like, I can tell you for free, if I start a show, but hip-hop, like if I decide today, I want to talk about great music, I want to talk about guru, I want to talk about roots, I want to talk about like this beautiful music that I hear, and I want to repeat a song over and over again. I know it's gotta be dope, but then there's always that fear of, I got this, for you have this, right? But also you have music, you have so many things also going on in your life. How do you let some go and keep holding on to others?
God will give you gifts and polish them in accordance to the place that you need to go. So when I needed to go into music, that gift was honed and polished. When I needed to go into video, that gift was honed and polished. When I needed to go into apparel and fashion, that gift was honed and polished. I don't know where he's going to take me next, but it doesn't mean that now I lament about, I don't have any singles, I'm not number one on radio, I'm not, who cares, bro? I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned about the here and now, not the past. That journey, we did it. you know,
And it was
thankfully
dope.
we won. Yeah, it was a good run. Let's move to the next thing. Creatives sometimes end up in this cycle of, I have to be like I was yesterday. No, you don't have to be like you were yesterday. You will never be who you were yesterday. You need to be a new you. Now, find the new you, dig into yourself and redefine who you are. Who you were 20 years ago is not who you are today.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think creatives don't really see that. They see, oh, mase single yangu ya last year unajua ili hit. So now I'm feeling so bad that this I need to do another single to maintain the. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Redefine yourself.
Yeah. You gotta let it go.
Let it go.
Peacefully.
Trust the journey. It's a beautiful, glorious journey. Roses are beautiful. They have thorns. Remember that. Thorns hurt.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the rose any less beautiful.
Do other people's opinion count? Especially when, you know, there was this story, he sang like this, so he probably, you know, got in trouble with some people. He's a bit controversial. This one is another one from another planet. Does that get to you?
No, because listen, Lynn, in all honesty, everybody will have an opinion about your life. But whose life is it again? Your life. Everybody will have an opinion about your life. But whose life is it again? Your life. Now, before you have an opinion about someone else's life, let's live our lives. Because sometimes we bash people because we're not living our lives to our full potential. And we find it easier to chop that person to size because we feel like, I'm not there, you know. Don't feel bad that you're not living your life. Get up and live your life, because every human being has gifts and talents. No human being is perfect at all. I've said over and over, I am a glorious mess up, and I admit to that, and I love it, because guess what? So was Saul. He became Paul. You know, so was Moses. So were a lot of people. You know, who was that guy who hit the people with the jaw of an ass? Samson. Wasn't that a glorious mess up? I mean, don't tell anybody your secret. You go and tell the most beautiful woman, Jesus. Lord have mercy, you know? But God still used him.
Yes.
So why do we dwell in, but you're not perfect? No. God doesn't want to use the perfect. God wants to use the imperfect to show how perfect he can make an imperfect person. So I don't, really honestly speaking, if you want to say that you saw me at a golf club with a paper bag on my head running naked, yeah, you did. It doesn't flatter me at all. It does not really flatter me at all, because the one thing I want to do is live. And by listening to what people say, you don't live. You end up, oh, he said, oh, she said, oh, I wish I was. No. All of us 8 billion human beings on earth, nobody perfect. Nobody's ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
The only time we'll be perfect is when we're up in heaven, hopefully, you know. Then he will have made us absolutely perfect. But for now, he has just decided to take us and use us as tools in the master's hands.
Beautiful. Choka Chok is going global.
Thank you.
The reception is very beautiful. There are people, I think, because I believed in it though from the beginning, but now when I see the reception, it's getting from people across the world. It's very beautiful. You know, you see people making TikTok videos and saying if you noticed when we were filming, you can go back. We had a bag right here, and a customer just came and took
it, yeah.
and took the bag. A very beautiful piece was right there,
Yeah.
and it's getting a lot of recognition. How does that make you feel?
I am still in disbelief. Sometimes I wake up like at 5 in the morning and I just sit there and ask God, is this really happening? Yani, tunauza mikoba. We're selling bags. For real. As in, people actually believe in this. And it's so beautiful to see people believe in an African brand. For once. For once. It brings tears to my eyes because people have believed in African music for the past, 5-6 years. There's been international African artists all over the globe doing big things. But fashion, bags, they've not believed in that. And here we are at the cusp of a revolution of people globally believing in African brands and saying, wait a minute, so what else is there apart from the bags? And I'm thinking, so this is opening up a lot more doors. And I'm like, guys, come on, just create. What are you creating? Soap? What? Popcorn? What are you creating? Let us show them the African excellence that we have. That is what wakes me up in the morning, and I say, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, that I am alive to see this moment. Because, in the 90s, who believed in any African brand? The early 2000s, who believed in any African brand?
Nobody.
In 2010, who believed in any African brand? Now we're here 2020. We are close to Vision 2030. Dear citizens, we are close to Vision 2030. We only have 6 more years left. And in these 6 years, for real, in these 6 years, Vision 2030 for Africa, this generation, Kinamuga, all these camera people and all these sound people, these beautiful ladies, Scholar and all of you guys, please help build brands so that you create the seed. By 2030, the seed is germinating. And by 2060, you have created African billionaires in Africa. That will be beautiful.
Powerful. Just for people to understand how passionate you are about products made in Kenya. This is Kenyan.
This is Kenyan. What you're sitting in on is Kenyan. The coffee is Kenyan.
Can we plug the coffee?
Even the cup is Kenyan.
This is
Everything.
Thaya coffee.
Thaya coffee is farm to table.
Yes.
Again, 4 generations of women planting coffee, pruning the coffee, nurturing the coffee, never really benefiting from it until Wadaya herself comes up and says, no, let us now value add. Don't sell it to these cooperatives. Give it to me. Let me value add my own coffee and sell it to the market.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, people are like, wow, this tastes and smells different because it's artisanal coffee, farm, straight to your table, no middleman. And those are the stories that I want to see.
That's Kenyan right there.
Everything is Kenyan.
Very beautiful.
Everything is Kenyan. The lampshades are Kenyan. The artwork is Kenyan.
Kenya. The way we placed the bags, the wood, that everything here is Kenya, and it's magical. But I gotta ask you one question because I saw it. Is Joka Jok the most expensive African bag right now?
Not yet. We're not the most expensive African bag. We're the most luxurious African bag.
Yes.
We didn't need to be expensive to be luxurious. There are people who are more expensive than us, but they don't have the aroma of luxury. It is an aroma, It's an acquired aroma that you must acquire. It's slowness, But we do have dreams of launching some of the most expensive bags on the continent. These are collector's items that we will be doing soon. because we have luxury brands and our bags range from $90 all the way up to about $500, $600. But we have items that we're designing that are going to be $1,000, $2,000. And these are collector's items. Because, I mean, if we have gold in Africa, why can't we have expensive things in Africa? God gave us the most expensive footprint down there, diamonds and gold. What are we afraid of wealth for? What are we afraid of wealth for? I don't get it. If somebody told you in your village, if you step like this, there's gold.
You step harder.
Yeah. So what are you afraid of? We're on a rich continent, so we should be rich people. Yeah.
And I see you also incorporating a lot of the Kikoi.
Yes.
How fast I see a lot of Kikoi international outside there. There are people even claiming the Kikoi, right? There are people saying, this is ours. A lot of people are making brands using the Kikoi. Where did we fail?
We failed in taking control of our narrative. And I'm so thankful to people like you who are now telling the narrative in the way it should. We allowed other people to tell our story as opposed to us telling our own stories. So they took ownership of everything. They say that the story of the lion will only be told by the hunter. How great the lion was, we shall never know. We can't be that anymore. We have to tell our own stories. Thank you so much for telling the African stories the way you passionately tell them. I commend you for that, and I wish you more and more and more growth. Just a footnote, I wish that we could do more African stories for children, because what are our children watching on television? They're not watching people who are our skin tone. So they aspire for what? Hair. Exactly. They're not watching our hair. They aspire for what? So I hope more people in the media sphere tell the African stories in the African way, so that these people embrace Africanism, because it is a beautiful, glorious thing.
It is.
To be an African.
Yeah. Seeing Joka, I must commend you for the quality, the stitching, the precision, the art. Seeing it stand side by side with other luxurious international brands and have people say, oh my goodness, this is even better than this and this. We don't want to say which market to their own, but seeing people say this is better than even this and this and this and this must be good. Not for you, for me, it's really good. Because if I'm out there, I can see. And you know where it's from? It's from Kenya. Exactly. It's from Kenya. This is an African product.
For me, that's a beautiful thing, because Kenyans aren't just runners and giraffes. You know, don't come to the safari and think that all we do is run and run safaris. We have a lot of other things that we can do as Africans. You know, come to the lakeside and enjoy our cuisine. It's amazing. We eat some art. We eat some insect. It is very high in protein. You know, I think that we're only beginning to see the cusp of African greatness. And it is only going to shine more and more and more.
Yeah.
I've heard about a lady who's now value adding cocoa in Ghana and making her own chocolate.
Yes.
You know, what a beautiful story. You know, finally, I've got friends in Addis. You know, Ethiopia has the largest amount of leather in Africa, and they're making international quality sneakers. Very beautiful. I've got friends in Tanzania who are doing sandals of international quality. There's Joka. There's people down south doing beautiful beadwork. There's people who are doing natural beauty products out of Africa. You know, not all these chemicals that were made in a lab, but something that God created and put in a plant. All of those things are happening, and we are at the point where we can now witness it and enjoy.
Yeah.
that is it's a
Beautiful.
moment to be alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're at a place where we are telling you, buy the end product.
Yes.
We are not shipping our
Value
raw
add, value add,
value add.
That is where wealth creation lies.
Yes.
Yes.
I love what you're doing here.
Thank you very much.
I love also the challenges that you've posed to us. We have tunamka. People are becoming aware. We are valuing ourselves more. We are appreciating our. Now imagine even I'm drinking sijui these seeds and these leaves. Sijui I am having sijui nini hibiscus,
Yes.
kombuchas.
Yes.
We know what fermented drinks that we were
Yes.
told these are alcohol. They were
Yes.
never.
Yes.
We are using natural medicines
Exactly.
to take care of our bodies.
Exactly.
We are drinking our water.
Exactly.
Like, you know, which it's beautiful. I love to be in this stage to see Africa rise up.
Keep on telling the story.
Yeah.
Expound on as many people as you can because you don't know the impact that you have.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I have watched your impact and I've watched the stories that you've told, and you and your team are doing an amazing job. I'm not just saying this to big you up, you know. I'm saying it because it's the reality, and we need more people to tell the African story
I appreciate it.
through the eyes of an African, so that we appreciate who we are.
Yes.
I don't think that Hollywood is going to ever tell the African story the way
We
you
can
will.
tell it.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But people have heard us talking about Joka Jok. One of my greatest fan is a great fan of your bags.
Okay.
She's called Mama Watoto. she's an amazing.
All right,
She's Herin.
yes.
Her name is Herin Achieng, an amazing fan of our platform.
Yes.
She every time, by the way, I see Joka Jok, she's there. Like, oh my God, this is
Yes,
ours.
yes.
And every time she visits Kenya,
Yes,
she
she
has
must come
to
here.
pass by
Yes.
an amazing woman, you know.
Yes, yes.
And also the love, even internationally, locally. And one thing I am loving about Joka Jok, it's not only been it's not only been supported by people our people, and now people are carrying their Joka Joks around the country,
Yes.
which is beautiful. It has been accepted at home, and it's
Yes.
been really appreciated even outside. But to people like Herin, people who have seen what value you can be able to create, what would you want to tell them? People like that beautiful man at the airport
Rose,
who was just on TikTok
Yes.
saying how beautiful your
Yes.
bags are. What do you want to tell them?
Our core supporters, who I was told a story of, somebody saw somebody with a Joka Jok and he said, oh, I love that bag. Where did you get it? And he opened his bag and he had actually printed out little cards with our contact. I don't know who this person is. And he would dish them out. If you want the bag here, get it here. And I'm like, wow, what kind of passion is this? It's taken on a life of its own. But those people from day one, I am so thankful to them, because without them, there would be no brand. They followed the policy of Ubuntu. I am because you are. So I will support you because you're supporting my brother and my brother's brother and my sister's sister, and we're building each other. Now, it may be that you brought the money in. You didn't bring the money into me. You brought the money into a whole community, and the circular economy is now growing. So we're actually actualizing a circular economy using a brand called Joka Jok. Herin has been an amazing supporter of ours. Amazing. As in, sometimes I even feel embarrassed reposting some of her content because it's so much.
It's so Joka Jok.
Yeah. And Rose, the guy from the airport.
Yeah.
I've never met him. He saw it. He said, I like it. He said, I'll buy it. Next thing I saw was a video. And I was like, wow. Wow. Yeah. Now, I didn't even know the impact that video was going to have at all. But it has had a huge impact. So never downplay the impact of you saying, this is a good brand, buy it. Because you may have changed somebody's life. I like to look at it this way. There's possibly maybe 1.5 billion or 2 billion black people across the globe. If 1% of them decided, just 1% of them decided to buy your item that was only 1,000 shillings, you would become a what?
A billionaire.
Therein lies the secret. You would become a billionaire instant. So we need to build each other and support each other so that we create those wealth creation pods and enabling environments. Yeah.
And I love that Joke is a legacy.
I
always wind up my interview asking someone what legacy they would love to leave behind. But here we are.
For me, the legacy is Joke. And the legacy is, don't ever be told it can't be done and believe that it can't be done, because it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done.
And it's been done.
Yes.
Yes. This is not an ad, but I know majority of my audience who are watching, obviously if someone wants to get a bag, they would inquire. So how are people buying Joke?
For us, it's really simple. Just go to jokejoke.com. That's it.
All
Click
the
on the
details.
links. Either send us a WhatsApp message. We'll respond within 5 minutes and process your order for you. It's really simple. Jokejoke.com. JOKAJOK.com.
And you ship as well.
Yes, we ship worldwide. And shipping is normally between 5 to 10 working days, depending on where you are.
Okay.
And you get your item.
Beautiful.
It's painless.
Very.
Yes.
Very painless. Wanna wind up, but anything else you wanna add, or what would be your parting shot to our wonderful people watching?
Don't ever be told it can't be done. And be still so that you hear the voice inside you. That voice is the guide you need to go where you need to go. These other voices are noise. And sometimes noise will confuse your output of your life. So you might become something career-wise that you were not meant to be because you listened to the noise and not the voice. Your gifts and talents are not by mistake. They define and they carry your purpose. Always remember that.
They are not a mistake. Period. Thank you, Ted.
Karibu sana.
It's been an amazing day.
Thank you
I
very
look
much.
forward to having another conversation with you. I know it's coming because there's a conversation I want to have with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it about these boys?
Yes. It's about music.
Okay, we shall.
Not the boys, it's about music. That one I'll selfishly do it for myself.
We'll sit in the studio and record it in the studio.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Good. Oh, and also there's a whole hall of fame.
Yes.
With beautiful artists, Waire, Nazizi, Dij.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Asante sana.
Tuende tukiendanga, sindio?
Kabisa.
God, always believe it can be done. Don't ever let anyone tell you it can't be done. I don't even have a parting shot for you guys. That's just it. Don't ever let someone tell you it can't be done. I mean, look at this magic. And I know a lot of people are dying with their gifts. And I always love to use what it's an analogy that Les Brown used once. And he said, imagine this is your grave and they just put you to rest. And then you have all your gifts surrounding you, asking you, why did you never use us? Si tutaenda wapi? Why did you never care? Imagine all those gifts, the talent, the skill set that you have, put them to use, because the outcome would be a joke. The outcome would be this beautiful coffee. Guys, I wish you can see. I think Muga will give us a shot of that beautiful coffee table right there. The outcome would be Afro Street. The outcome would be all the people that we keep bringing you that are doing great things in our own country. And I see how people like Tanzanians, Nigerians, they always come out and support their own. And I think we're experiencing a moment here. Kenyans are crazy about Joke, which for us is incredible because it shows by the tukiamua kusupport kitu, we can do it. the Ubuntu, the collectiveness, and just knowing that we can make luxury. People are saying this is the most luxurious brand in Africa right now, the bag. And I'm like, don't you all feel good to be associated with it? For me, I'll always say, because I know it's destined for so much greatness, but to be able to say one day, at least I had an interview with Tedd Josiah when he has these mega bags and people are coming in to buy them from everywhere. I'll say, at least I had an interview with Tedd Josiah and he's African and this is our brand. So please put your work out there. Don't be shy. People are going to say, you guys, the problem I keep telling you is that you don't want to be seen starting from scratch. It's never pretty down there. It's never easy. It's never, let no one tell you, start today and tomorrow. We keep saying we don't want those microwave success. It's a lie. It is not true. You gotta put in the work. You gotta advance in your skills. You gotta make sure that you show up every day. That's how we create beautiful things. Other than that, thank you to our amazing team that gets to do this with us. I see today Dama joined us. Dama has had quite the day, but that's a story for another day. So Dama, karibu sana set, but Scholar Muga Joshua, of course, we appreciate you, and also our incredible partners. I love that the theme for Maridadi Motors has always been trust the process, and this is what trusting the process looks like. Get your cars from them if you can, and also get your beautiful apartments from Kings Developers Limited, and get your bag from Joka. One day I can't wait for you guys to see conversations powered by Joka. Tutafika hapo sawa sawa. Catch you tomorrow guys, 10 a.m. Bye.
So trust the process. One day your life is gonna change. Keep on believing.